From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Good morning, everyone. We're getting each day getting closer and closer to that Red Bluff Roundup here for next week, and I've got a pair of free tickets for Friday night's event. If you want to enter to win, all you have to do is email me at mkrueger@weathernorcal.com, or even easier, just go to weathernorcal.com, click on Contact in the main menu here, and then just fill out the form, your email, your name, and just let me know, hey, I want to win the tickets, and yeah, we'll get you in the drawing there. The winner will be announced as we go into next Wednesday, April 16th, right on Coffee with Krueger. That starts at 6:30 in the morning. So be sure to watch Wednesday morning if you enter into the contest, and just be sure to watch in general. It's a great show. All right, let's take a look at your weather headlines. A few North Coast showers here for today. So I don't expect it to be a big deal, but there are going to be some showers, especially north of Highway 299 in Humboldt and into Del Norte counties. But it could kind of creep its way eastward into parts of western Siskiyou and northern Trinity County. Now, there will be a drop in our temperatures this weekend, but it's still actually going to remain dry, as most of the rain will be to our north. Potential for some gusty north winds, by the way, over the weekend, especially for Sunday, but they could be here as early as even Saturday, especially for the valley, and then dry and warm going into early next week. So really no big changes, nothing major heading our way, but we've just got a few kinks in there, here and there. Now, take a look at your Thursday, April 10th, Krueger's Quickcast. Now, as you're heading out the door this morning, not too terribly cold out there, actually fairly mild, really. I mean, even the higher elevations, we're steering clear of those 30s, mainly in the 40s for the higher elevations, and pretty mild in the valley with mainly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 50s. So I was talking about this, a bit of a kink, right? And that's what I'm talking about. So what we've got here is this little swirl of low pressure right here. Here's the main cold front right here. Now, what we're seeing happen here is, you see how it's kind of, it looks fairly organized right about here. But now we're starting to see it kind of kink, right? We're starting to see it kind of split in two. That's a sign of it getting weaker as it butts up against the ridge of high pressure that's over us. But that will push through mainly the Pacific Northwest, but is going to clip extreme Northern California. So when we look at Futurecast, you'll see that, right? So there's that line, right? You see how it starts to kind of break apart, though. I mean, so it looks still fairly organized even at midday. Clouds along the coast, some high clouds inland, and of course high clouds for some of us as well, but still plenty of sunshine to start off that first half of the day. This will then progress eastward, and you see how it just kind of breaks apart? But it's mainly north of Highway 299 that we're seeing the bulk of that activity here, and most of it will be in Del Norte County. And even that won't be all that impressive when we're talking the amount of rainfall that we're going to see out of this. And then going into tonight, that's just going to continue to generate more cloud cover for us. And another thing you'll notice right down here, it's showing the potential for maybe a few showers for some of us in the valley, especially in Glenn County. But here's the thing, the atmosphere right now is dry. We haven't really seen much rain over the last several days, and so the atmosphere is fairly dry. We got to saturate that atmosphere first before we can start seeing some of those showers. And the thing is, when you see a sprinkle like that in a very dry atmosphere, most likely it won't even reach the ground. And if it does, again, it's just maybe a light sprinkle. But that's overnight tonight, when most of you will be asleep and you probably won't even notice it. All right, so there you can see your Mount Shasta Ski Park, kind of the last week of it. It's got the spring conditions, and what that essentially means is, yeah, it's pretty nice in the morning, but yeah, by the afternoon, as the sun heats up that snow, it gets a little bit more sticky and slushy. So usually that first half of the day, you've got some pretty good conditions, and of course the road conditions are fine. You don't have to worry about any snow on those roadways. All right, so there you can see temperatures are warming up. We've got about 80 degrees, give or take, for the valley. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and we've got those low to mid 60s out along the coast here. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. Mostly cloudy actually for Friday, but we're not expecting any rain. And then I do expect temperatures to start to increase again, especially by the second half of the weekend. And we're getting in some mid 80s by the time we get in early next week for the coast, inland, and Trinity County. So you'll notice I don't have any raindrops here. Keep in mind, it's mainly north of Highway 299 into Del Norte County that you got the chance for showers today. Not a lot, though. Some of the inland areas also made places like Hoopa, northward into Gas Key, for example, seeing that potential for a stray sprinkle or a light shower. Otherwise, fairly dry. Mostly cloudy and dry for Friday, dry for the weekend, and dry going into early next week as well. Now for Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, you're dry today. Mostly cloudy for Friday, but still dry. Dry and warmer, especially the second half of the weekend, and warming up even more by early next week. All right, that's your Krueger's Quick Cast. You know, there's a free 24-hour streaming channel you have access to, and you can watch it anywhere. Weather NorCal is available, whether it's weathernorcal.com, the free Weather NorCal app, and anywhere YouTube is available, including your smart TV, you can watch it. And what I love about YouTube is the fact that you can watch on demand the latest video forecasts like the one you're watching now. You can also watch the 24-hour streaming channel on your Fire Stick or Roku. Just search for Weather NorCal for the YouTube channel and Weather NorCal for the apps for these two devices right here. Your smart TV in general, right? Even if you don't have Fire Stick or Roku, you can still watch it on YouTube on your big screen TV. So again, I was talking about this band of clouds right here. It's fairly organized, but then we start to see it split in two. And as I mentioned earlier, it's because we've got this arc in the clouds. That's the ridge of high pressure. Now we are seeing these little weak disturbances, as you can see right here, that are getting caught up in that flow, and it is bringing us some cloud cover from time to time. It's also bringing us maybe even for enough instability for some of those light showers I was showing you for even parts of the valley. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So again, we go into 8 a.m. this morning. Of course, we're dry. There's that band. Now, again, remember I was talking about splitting in two. So this looks like it's going to bring rain even in places like Garterville, right? But you see how it just kind of breaks apart. So mainly around Eureka, northward, you've got a chance for a sprinkle or a light shower. This really here is just showing how insignificant this rain is. But you got the cloud cover moving in. We've even got a few clouds developing here north and west of the valley, but no rain embedded in those clouds. By 5 o'clock this afternoon, most of it's in Delaware County. The rest of us are fairly dry. Now, as I mentioned, you see by 10, 11 o'clock tonight, a little bit of a sprinkle activity here, even off into the eastern mountains, but drying out for the coast. Bottom line, don't count on any of this to happen. It's just so insignificant. Okay, maybe a sprinkle or two, especially for some of the higher elevations, but that's the extent of it. We take you into your Friday morning. Mostly cloudy skies. We're seeing a lot of the leftover cloud cover. Remember I was talking about some of that energy coming in from the southwest. Well, that's getting caught up in the flow of this system that's passing on through, and that's going to continue to bring us the clouds as we take you through the day on Friday. So we'll call it mostly cloudy. You'll also notice, you see that? A little pop-up here, a little shower trying to develop here, even for parts of the valley. Once again, very dry atmosphere. We got to saturate it first. So here's the bottom line with tonight and even going into parts of tomorrow. If you see a stray sprinkle here and there with some of these clouds that are passing through, don't be surprised. But if you have outdoor plans or you have to do anything outside, I wouldn't worry about it. You're not going to run into any situation where you're going to have a heavy downpour coming down on you if you work outside. You just might get a little sprinkle on you, especially if you work outside. That's kind of nice too, right? Because it kind of cools things off a bit. And then Saturday, you've got the mainly sunny skies here coming in for especially the second half of the day. I want to show you our mid-range because as we go into your Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, you see how we're seeing a few showers trying to develop here, especially in Plumas and even parts of Lassen County. That's not out of the question for Saturday afternoon, but you can see it's mainly going to be confined here into the Sierra. Everyone else should be dry on Saturday. And then, of course, going into your Sunday, I do expect to see those dry conditions as well for Sunday afternoon. Here's a look at the forecast rainfall totals. And so this is going to take you through Thursday through tonight. And this is where I think most of it's going to be. I think we could pick up most likely less than a tenth of an inch of rainfall, quite honestly, for places like Crescent City. So if you get up to a tenth in some places, not out of the question. Now, I think this might be overdoing it. And I say that because I think it's just going to be in the form of some sprinkles and maybe a trace, maybe a hundredth here and there for some of the inland areas north of 299 or around Eureka as well. Mount Shasta City, I think that's overdoing it because I don't think we're going to see any rainfall today. So I think that's overdoing it. And then going into your Saturday, you see how these little pop-ups here and there? I think this is overdoing it. I don't think we're going to really see much. But as you saw on Futurecast, as we go into tomorrow afternoon, there may be a little pop-up here and there. So there are places that could see that. It just depends on where it is. But overall, you can see again how insignificant it is. Bernie, I think overdoing it. I don't think we're going to really see much in the way of rain there. But again, you saw some of that activity here for places like Plumas and into Lassen County. So yeah, you could pick up a stray shower as well. But bottom line is you look at this, you go, That's not a lot. What's the whole point of all this? Well, the point of it is just so you're not surprised, right? So a lot of these areas that you do see these totals here, bottom line, if you see a sprinkle really anywhere, it's not out of the question, but it's not going to be enough to really cancel any outdoor plans over. Hey, I want to kind of talk about the winds here real quickly, because the winds, I think, are going to be picking up here, especially as we go into the weekend. Not necessarily today or even tomorrow, although by tomorrow we start to see them pick up here for parts of the coast here and even into the eastern mountains. But it's, again, not until Saturday that I think we'll see those noticeable winds. See, by midday Saturday, you got those strong north winds here for parts of the valley, especially the north and west side of the valley. And along the coast here, seeing some of those winds. And this is going to also kind of move its way into Sunday as well, as we could see some of those gusty north winds. So just be aware of that. If you have any plans over the weekend, don't be surprised if it's a little breezy, gusty out there for both Saturday and Sunday. There's that ridge of high pressure over us right now. That's pushing eastward, though, as this cooler air starts to ride to our north. Temperatures start to drop on Friday. We see the clouds as a result. Saturday, it's actually clearing out, but the cooler air is still in place, keeping those temperatures down a bit. That moves out, and then we've got kind of some warmer air coming in from the desert southwest, and also some warmer air coming in from the eastern Pacific. A flat ridge of high pressure will be in place. We've got this area of low pressure right here kind of undercutting that ridge. That's going to really not have too much impact on our weather. So that's going to keep our temperatures most likely above normal. This will probably just ride to our north and kind of suppress that ridge a little bit here. So as we get toward the end of next week, we may see a dip in our temperatures again. All right, there you can see, taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center, warmer than normal conditions are in that long range, and you can see that as we look at that 10-day trend here. The normal high is about 70. So this is what I was talking about. Temperatures staying above normal, and we're talking about temperatures as much as 10 to even 15 degrees above normal for this time of the year. But at least we're staying clear of the 90s for now. It's just mainly the 80s at this point. Drier than normal conditions here as we also look at that longer range. It'd be nice to see some more rainfall, but it doesn't look like anything all that promising. But what is promising is the fact that we still have very healthy lake levels right now. Now, despite the fact that we're not seeing rain, keep in mind that we do get a lot of that snow melt. That snow melt is what's also helping to give us these continued increases in those lake levels. I mean, we're at 93% capacity and 90% capacity at Lake Oroville and 88% capacity for Trinity Lake. So again, with that snow melt, again, remember the snowpack is kind of that another kind of reserve for us when it comes to water, because it melts down as we go into the spring season, which we are now, and in the summer, and that helps to fill the lakes and give us, as we start getting more and more demand on that water going into the summer season. Now, the drought monitor, nothing for us here in Northern California. That's good. Southern California, yes, we got some drought conditions there, and especially over the desert southwest and even parts of the central United States as well. And this is something I've been talking about over the last several weeks, and it's just kind of a friendly reminder for us that with these red flag warnings and fire weather watches that we're seeing for parts of the United States, not for us just yet, these types of conditions are just around the corner for us as we go into and get closer to the summer season and the drier season and the hotter season and the fire season, right? So we have to remember that defensible space, making sure you're clearing away all of that brush. If you can't do it, make sure you get someone else to do it for you, because it's not just about your safety, but it's also about your neighbor's safety as well. Here's a look at your wave heights. You can see they are going to be fairly low today, although they are increasing. So that's going to give us that small craft advisory this afternoon, and I think that'll extend on into tomorrow as well, with those higher wave heights. South winds at about 10 to 15 knots. Your waves from the west at 5 feet at 10 seconds. Small craft advisory for this morning, later this morning through the afternoon. So your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, temperatures mainly in the 60s and 70s for your daytime highs. Absolutely gorgeous day today. I think we'll be dry for basically southern Humboldt County here throughout the day today. But as you head north of Highway 299, all of these areas have a chance for a sprinkle at the very least, maybe a light shower. More of the measurable rainfall will be in Del Norte County throughout the day today, especially this afternoon. And for Siskiyou County, I think you'll be dry, just the increase in cloud cover, more clouds coming in for your Friday. Modoc County, mainly sunny for today, but some clouds coming in tomorrow afternoon. Highs today absolutely gorgeous, low 70s. Your eastern mountains neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s here. We could get up to 80 though out towards Doyle. 78 degrees for Susanville and Paradise, about 74 degrees. In your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, temperatures around 80 degrees, give or take for that daytime high. There's your 7-day forecast for Chico. Temperatures in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy on Friday. Temperatures increasing though, especially for the second half of the weekend and early next week. Up to the north, about 80 for Redding, all the way down to Cottonwood, maybe a little bit warmer in Red Bluff at about 81. Mostly cloudy on Friday with more sunshine over the weekend and warming up too. Back up to 81 degrees by Sunday. And we got those temperatures in the mid 80s on Monday, back down to the low 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon. Until then, have a great morning.